I work for elementary school in Gyeonggi-do near Seoul, very close to Seoul. And since I'm a public school teacher, I've been working for like more than six schools until now, and I've been teaching more than 20 years in elementary school. Okay.
Thank you. And
Hello. Nice to meet you. I can hear you.
How are you, ma'am?
I'm good. How are you?
I am also fine, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. This
Mm-hmm.
is
You're
Akash
welcome.
Kumar, a ninth grader from JPHS Sailavaram. Now I would like to share little information. Curriculum design is important because it centers a teacher's practice based on individual needs in the classroom. Any curriculum development effort should focus on being an effective educator as it involves rethinking lessons that already exist to re-envision what would better prioritize the needs of students. In this context, I would like to ask you a question, ma'am. Can I?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
My question is, what is your role in designing curriculum?
Okay. All the teachers in my school actually design new curricula every year. So they adopt different approaches and different themes. We're on theme-based school. So each semester is divided by three or four themes. So in the beginning of the school year, we focus on the theme of being a community, starting a community, and set up your goal for the 1 year of your study. And the second and the next theme will be different according to, well, teacher's decision, which will be the most focused theme they have to pursue altogether. So that goes on and on until the end of one school year. And so my role this year, I don't teach. I'm not an homeroom teacher. I teach only English. So this year I just follow their own themes, but I do also pursue my own themes and topics like SDGs, like Sustainable Development Goals, like 17 UN's goals for the global sustainability. So I usually try to set up a goal according to that universal, bigger goal and vision. And I usually focus on soft skills like empathy and emotional intelligence. Yeah, that's about it. So I cooperate with the other teachers, usually the homeroom teachers, and they are the ones who see my students the most of the times, and they teach more plural subjects. And being an English teacher covers like grade 4 to 6 students. I follow up with other teachers, but I also have my own visions and goals like SDGs and soft skills that I incorporate into my curricular and helping the students.
so, Doctor, I have a question. How frequently do you change the curriculum according to the needs and aspirations of the students?
Every
So,
year.
every year. Okay.
Yep. We
So,
do have textbooks and national guidelines like achievement goals and then competence goals, but we usually don't use textbooks. But, and then we encompasses all many different kinds of medias and researches and then activities and projects. So yeah, that's about it.
yeah, is it applicable to all subjects in all the provinces of South Korea, or only a few?
No, no, a few schools do that like a school scale. But it's really possible to do it like teacher by teachers And recently, the government trying to put IB, like International Baccalaureate system. So according to that system, each teachers, well, naturally design their own curricular every year. So in a way, it's it's hard because you can't use the same curricular every year, so you have to develop your own curricular every different year. So it's a lot of work.
Okay. So our regional government is also planning to introduce IB syllabus into our public schools. So
Mhm.
I have a curious question in my mind. So how successful the IB system in your South Korean context? Do you think the IB system is making the students globally viable to compete with this competitive world?
Yeah, I'm sure of it because my school traditionally it was an innovative school, but our theme is usually social focus. Social studies, the main pillar of designing and implement all the subjects. But in IB system, it's science and social study. Science and social studies, it's like a different. I believe Mr. Hari Krishna may heard of this like academic trend once established, and it's called STS, Science, Technology, and Society.
Yeah.
So those three subjects are the main force that change the world.
Mm,
So IB has really a potential to make the student to change the world.
okay. So how
But
does
and
yeah, yeah, I'm
but
sorry.
the thing is,
Yeah,
yeah,
carry
go
on,
on.
carry on. You go on, please.
Oh yeah, but in Korean circumstances, I'm not sure because you'll have to pay for using IB system. It's a training that you need to have a teacher training at first, and then you'll have to have go through a few steps. Like it may take like year long, maybe 2, 3, 4 years of investment. It's a huge investment, and it's a huge amount of money. Well, even if it's not IB that you'll have to certify with IB center in Switzerland, you can develop your own, STS based curricular that's similar, but it's not like copying the IB system. It's because we're doing that. Maybe if you do it, we're doing it because it's the most powerful, educational tool set.
Yeah. So
So you have to have your own freedom to pursue your own curricular,
right.
not just have to oblige to follow, IB's, their, I don't know, their design or their mandatory, steps and paying the loyalty. Yeah, that's what I thought. Hmm.
So if you want to say in one word that how different IB from the syllabus that is locally designed, is there any special? Just one or two words.
Oh my goodness, there are so many because Korean educational system, it's a good one. We do have we put lots of resources and we develop and we study like many years of effectiveness of one or two different approaches to into practice. But sadly, Korean students are very competitive. They have to go. They are trained to be competitive in, going into and working or living their life. So and not a lot of deep thinking and creative skill is what to say promoted or think that this is not a goal actually. Because well, there's a lots of reasons why, but we are traditionally very strong culture like called Confucianism, and we are highly centered power organization. And this is really deeply in our culture, and that's the way we are working and we are organized to live our own daily life even. So like testing is something that like, for example, university entrance system, it still has the multiple choices. That's quite ridiculous in according to IB system or deeper academic point of view.
Okay.
You know, highly developed knowledge, skills, and anything you can acquire as academic skills has to be put into a real meaningful test. But the university entrance system doesn't scale these.
Mm.
It's very difficult, very complicated and difficult calculations behind all those hyper multiple choice tests. But I'm not sure it's really scaling one's academic skill or academic capability,
Yeah, thank you.
because in real life things are not in multiple choices.
Yes, thank you for giving us a comprehensive analysis this
Mhm.
IB, because the curiosity developed as you have mentioned the word IB, because our state government is of course is planning to introduce IB in a pilot project in some schools, and if it is successful, and it's going to implement the same system in the rest of the schools in my region.
Mhm.
So here is another student, Jessica. About you.
Good
Hi,
evening.
Jessica. Hi.
How are you, ma'am?
I'm good. How are you, Jessica?
I'm fine, thank you, ma'am. My name is Jessica, an 8th grader from ZPHS School, Elavaram. I am so excited to ask you a question. Can I ask, ma'am?
Oh, sure, sure.
Could you please share your unforgettable experience with students?
Okay. I like from year 2013 and up until now, I implement this international exchange class using Zoom or other technologies. And this is very important for me because I can see students' different aspects other than in normal classes while I'm doing this. A lot of students have a pressure in Korea about English tests, not like real communication skills and those real interaction. They really don't have such experience, and of course, so the government decided to put lots of programs like we once hired a huge amount of English speakers like from England and Canada and the US, and I worked with them about like around 6 7 years, and then that program cannot be continued forever, and then so the real interaction with people around the world is the goal of learning English. It's not like only looking up and then to be perfect on like 100% in your test sheet. It's not the goal of language teaching. So I started to use this method, and then with what's interesting about this method is those people, those students who are discouraged by, lots of mandatory and rote memory and test taking, they are actively involving and they're showing off their own personality. And they're very enthusiastic in showing an expression of many things around their own life. That's what I believe the authentic language they acquired and they're actually using. So one of the students were very poor background. Their mom and dad divorced very early, and he had to change like almost 5 to 6 schools already in elementary school level. And then of course, the parents were not very, to say, sincerely, taking care of the kids. So the kid had lots of problems himself, and then not helping the study of himself, but also he was destroying very ordered, he couldn't adapt himself to a very neat and clean and ordered classroom. He wanted to burst something out because of his past, and he's so not to the system of school. But as soon as I started to do the mystery Skype lessons, and he very surprisingly dared to talk and dared to use English and dare to meet new people and try to show that he's better. And he actually improved in his attitude and many things like social interactions with his friends and with his own homeroom teachers. He improved really a lot. And that's why I'm doing this. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I totally agree with you because the authentic communication is one of the best communications in this world. So my
Mhm.
students might not pronounce exactly like a British or American, but Australian,
Mhm.
but they are
Mhm.
able to convey the message. So
Right.
the person is able to understand what we are able to say, and we understand what they are able to say. So this is enough as far as the communication is concerned. You are from South
Sure.
Korea and I am from India, but still we are managed to understand each other. So that is the
Sure.
greatness of authentic communication.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Here is another student, Srinivas.
Yes, sir. Hello, ma'am. How are you?
I'm great. And how are you?
I'm fine, ma'am. Thank you. This is Subramanyaswar Srinivas, 8th grade student from GPH School, Ailvaram. I would like to ask you a question. Can I ask, ma'am?
Oh, sure.
My question is, could you please share your approach while dealing with students?
Right. Well, the first class of my school year, my English class is about goal setting and the rule setting. So the students come up their own ideas how to reach that goals. And I ask them to write down what can be the ideal practice in everyday classroom that can be encouraged not only for yourself but for everybody to make the our goal altogether successful. So I usually distribute some post-its and they write their own ideas, what to do and what not to do. And I collect them all together. And at the end of the class, categorize with my students, and those so we make like a very big three principal rules, and then under every three principles I collect their own writings of small practices, detailed actions they have to take in class. So once the rules are set up, I print out, and everybody has their own scale, I have to say. I create their a worksheet so they can check out if they have done it right, or they can be lazy, or they can make mistake because they're students. So at the end of each theme ends, I ask them to look up their own practice checklist, and they can think about, and we talk about how successful it was in what area, what category they could reach. And naturally, they understand, and they find some points that altogether, some points there are lack of practice there, and they decided to work on more. So, and that's the general approach for everybody as a group. And personally, some of the students, as I mentioned before, have a huge problem that's not their own fault. It's the environment, their family didn't give a proper I don't know what to say, proper education from their family backgrounds, and they often make lots of conflicts. And so once anything happens, I usually call the two of them, and then ask them that we have those three main, rules, but it's okay because you're students, so you can make mistakes, and anything happens in life, but I'm sure you can find out what's the missing points that while you're interacting with your peer or student, your friends, what could have been missed? Can you find out? And most of the case, the children finds out
Yeah.
without taking long time. Yeah, because they know, and they know even if they make mistake, it's not going to be harshly punished, or it's something that they can just improve just by acknowledging, and they just find out. And after that, it's easy to make them apologize to each other. Usually both kids apologize to each other.
So you usually, and what kind of punishment is given to the student if he makes a mistake, or if he doesn't show the homework, or if he behaves badly in the classroom? And as a teacher,
We
as a
have a law called life guidance, and it's a subsidiary, what to say, principal, I have to say maybe. And then according to that law, each school students can be separated by the whole class, and then given some individual tasks to do, and then be guided and separated when it's too much to in the principal's office. So, well, yeah, they know the consequences. They expect what's going on after like two or three times of warning by the teacher, and they'll be separated a few times, once out of their own seats, and other times in a different seat, and third times out of the classroom. And he's going to be relocated with principal or vice principal and studying individually.
Yeah, I must say that that's going to be a very severe punishment for the student to be given, because the isolation in separation from the his peer group is definitely is going to have a great impact on his mind. I do agree that he does realize what kind of mistake he made, and there is a possibility to come out of those things, and he can behave properly from here onwards. Yes, that's really a good way to control these students who are behaving badly. So here is another student. Yes, Gayatri, over to you.
Hello.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. Hi.
I'm from India. My name is Gayatri, and I graduated from Jilla Parishad High School, Alavaram. I'm so jubilant to interact with you. Here, I would like to share a little information. Teaching at a primary school is always a tough job as it requires a lot of patience and innovative ideas to teach lessons innovatively and effectively. I am sure that your students like you so much. In this context, I would like to ask you a question. Can I ask, ma'am?
Oh, sure.
How do you describe your 20 years experience and as an elementary school teacher?
Mm. Uh, it was like growth, I have to say. I grew up as a teacher also with my students, and it's such an wonderful experience altogether. As a mother also, it was a good thing to do because I could spend more time with with my kids. Being an elementary school teacher allows me 1 or 2 years of babysitting at home, and then so I could spend more time with my family. And yeah, like normally Korea is highly developed economic system, and once you are working for private company, your extra work is enormous. And if you don't do that, sadly enough, we're not actually reaching to the level of a welfare of like Northern Europeans, or I don't know, other advanced countries. So I wouldn't, I don't think I could have done anything like this, raising my kids at home and then keep my balance of life, working also at school. Yeah, so it was a great experience, and I'm still doing it. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. And here in Indian context, most of the boys and how they grown up in the family system, and the boys are not supposed to do any domestic work, and so
Oh,
work is supposed to be done by the girls. So you are not
ah,
supposed to cook the food. You are not supposed to sweep the floor. You are not supposed to wash the clothes. So these are the
uh-huh.
things, domestic chores, and should be done by the girl, not a boy. But
Oh, wow.
in this 21st century, I think all the boys and the girls are supposed to do the same work in order to survive, in order to
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
do our life, in order to lead our life individually. So I have been to USA in 2020 in around, and I witnessed a few classes. The cookery class is there for the boys and girls.
Mm-hmm,
They're
mm-hmm.
learning how to cook the food. And the surprising thing is also I have also learned that how to raise a child, and they are giving a robot doll to their homes. And so the parenting also is part of their curriculum. In cookery is also part of their curriculum. Home science is there, and everything is part of their curriculum. But
Sure.
unfortunately, in Indian context, it's not part of our curriculum. But as a teacher, as a global teacher, so I do recommend our government to introduce the cookery classes, and especially the home science classes. And how are these classes being implemented in a South Korean context?
Oh yeah, we totally promote gender equality. And then yeah, it made lots of conflict, but it took some time also to make or persuade males to involving in raising up the kids and taking care of the house and home economics and everything. Well, yeah, so these days I don't see those traditional, ideas or behaviors like men only does things that are happening outside of home. It's nonsensical in Korea. It's not acceptable anymore. So, for example, my brother is cooking every time we're gathered together in our family events, and he cooks really well. And he's working for the government as well. It's very he promoted like very high, but he's just a very gentle and soft and sweet person when we're as a family members together. And he has one daughter. And then traditionally, like it was like so shame, but they pursued only boys, and they sometimes didn't like a woman who gave a birth to a daughter only, but it's really nonsensical even in my own family now. So yeah, things have changed a lot. Mm.
Yeah, the public system and private system. I think quite common in every country. And depending on the economy, depending on the parents' moods and their aspirations, they send their children to the one of these two schools. And in Indian context, many students, their parents are not they are not that much rich to send them to the corporate schools. I mean, private schools. So naturally, they send their children to the public schools. And from affluent and rich people, and they normally send their children to the private schools, thinking some better education. In India, still the scenario is there, but in some states, the scenario is slowly changing. If you take my state as an example, and my state, because of my state government initiatives to promote the public system, and slowly the enrollment rate in high schools, especially the secondary schools, are rising day by day and year to year. Uh, so public system in my region is getting strengthened from year to year. So how about
Mhm.
in South Korea? Do you think that the things are balancing in South Korea, both the private system and public system, or which one is dominating?
Well, at district, other than public or private, it's like normally private in private school, the parents paying for the tuition, so you can expect generally a higher, very dense curriculars focused on academic achievement. But in Korea, like some areas like a school district is much more important factor than being public or private. For example, like it's very known, it's not great, it's not something that you should follow like an example, but like in very rich area in southern part of Seoul, there are 100 public schools where all the parents will kind of crazy to send their kids there. And it's yeah, it's not really 100% comfortable to admit, but even in my city, in my working city, like my school district is regarded to be the most expensive. but it's public, it's meant to have some social mix approaches. So we have a very poor students in our district, but very small portion, and the major portion is the kids. The kids are from upper middle class. So yeah,
Okay.
it's different by districts
Yes,
from one other districts in Korea.
yes, I can understand. And so before we wind up this session, may I request you to give a message to my students? And so before you move on to give a message, so of course our collaboration will continue in future.
Come
So
up with anything. I especially appreciated your passion last year because last year I lost two of my connection.
yes.
I believe the reason is that the teacher in Turkey was too passionate, and he was accepting all different kinds of proposal from all different kinds of multiple nations and countries, and then I think he reached it to a certain point that he couldn't handle
Mm.
all the schedules and time differences and lots of different projects and lots of different things going on at school. So I really, yeah, appreciate your loyalty and passion. And I'm sure that we could continue. And then, yeah. Well, this year I would like to share your approach, like maybe this is like career education. You are giving a really deep approach to these aspects of technology, like edu technology, that different culture, different social system, and different setup of all global citizens get together, and then we're helping together for our next generations. So I'm deeply touched by your approach. So I would like to ask you to be my host for my students. So share your experience
It's
and
my pleasure.
one of your students who has a strong motivation to be a certain, professions and a future, goals are already set and working for such an appreciation. I'll be, yeah, gladly invite them why they did have such an motivation and how they organize their everyday life. And yeah, healthy lifestyle, healthy routine is main focus this year for me. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'll be glad to anything, but I strongly want to invite you to my classroom meeting my students.
Yeah, it's always my pleasure to work with you and your students. And before we wind up this session, could you please give a final message?
Okay. All right. So everyone, hope you spend some cool summertime. And I really appreciate your curiosity and your deep understanding of my job as a teacher. And you have I believe you have understood a lot of them, and then had your own thoughts, sprouts from this experience. So good luck, everyone, and I hope you enjoy all the time. Bye bye.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And we will see you
Thank
soon.
you.